I think that's everything.
You're real heroes.
Kind of routine. As usual, I led the charge.
We're fired heroes. Peck's gonna pull our license.
Well, get real, Ray. It's the holidays. Nobody in this town's gonna be around to pull our license till Monday. We got the whole weekend to stop this calamity and probably half a dozen others. Save
Where
the
did
city.
I put that
We got
mask?
a 4-day weekend. We have time left for ourselves.
Dr. Vinkman, if they start evacuating Manhattan, I won't be coming in on Monday. Catastrophic exodus of the city does not count as a floating holiday. I know. I looked it up.
Hey guys. Lost in their own world again, I see. Wonder if Veeks can make some convo today.
Hello, Ghostbusters.
Foolish mortal.
Huh?
Over here.
Oh, you don't know the half of it. They have
what you
been
need?
racing in and out of
I
here since
see
that
the
shockwave
evil
hit.
of the times to come.
How would I know? I'm just here
You
trying
will
to keep the
choose a
lights on.
king far more evil than myself.
Sure, I could
to
ask
rule
what's
you.
going on, but then they might
Twice.
actually tell me. What?
At least it won't be Biff
Yeah, I'd
Tannen.
say it's pretty big.
That was a weird
That schnuff from
future.
the city isn't helping ease
Completely
the tension
unrealistic
either.
too.
Anyway,
Though I suppose Ronald
going away for
Reagan
Thanksgiving might be on
and
hold.
getting
until
down to the
things settle
books,
down.
Gaius Julius
no.
Caesar was kind
But
of out there as
we
well.
have to roll the Ghostbusters way. Don't
These
ask.
holographic paintings are really starting to stack up.
All right.
I wonder where you can buy them this
Goodbye.
size. I could never find them at the mall. Painting of the Trustees. Circa 1936, painter Ambrose Whitman captured the city's most powerful captains of industry in a moment of solemn reflection in a painting entitled The Chairman and the Board of Trustees. It'd be great if we could get a parade queen version of one of these. Though I suppose it'd be kinda sketchy in the workplace. It's surprising how well a vase can bring a room together. Phoenician plague vase, circa 1700 BC. Worshippers of Reshep surreptitiously placed these vessels among goods shipments to enemies. When activated, the vessels produced hordes of various plagues to overwhelm and terrorize enemies. The writing on this particular specimen translates as Sacred Rat Jar. Suppose I should stop at that corner store and pick up a couple flowers. That'd really bring the room together. I wonder if I should find a better place for the musket. Cursed Musket of C. Starkey. Circa 1868, Confederate artillery gunner Cecil Starkey deserted his post in the midst of a bloody battle that wiped out his platoon. The last surviving man in this platoon cursed Starkey with his dying breath. The cannon you desecrated will yet find ye. Starkey was killed years later in a hunting accident, where witnesses claim he somehow fired a 12-pounder cannon shot from his rifle. The shot allegedly bounced from tree to tree until returning to its terrified owner, Cecil Starkey. Nah, I'm sure it'll be fine. Oh look, monstrosity is available. Why do I suck at video games? Hunt your dreams, they said. Well, I'm no wizard. I'm stuck shooting nuclear lasers all day. There's where we put it. Ritual Mask of Bad Advice. Circa 1915, Leslie Campbell, niece of archaeologist Professor Gordon Campbell, received the Huxatli Ritual Mask of Bad Advice in a package from her uncle. It was the last anyone ever heard from him. In the package was a cryptic note, "Don't listen." But eventually, she did. Thank God it stopped moaning. Maybe putting it next to the beds wasn't the greatest choice. Now let's see, how many messages we got this time?
You have 11 new messages.
Well, that's an improvement.
Your performance is so fairly adequate. Are you sure you don't want to hold on to your amateur status because you can?
Delete.
You have 10 new messages.
Ghostbusters! Ghostbusters! Woo! You cats rock, man! #1 fan right here, effing certified! Rock on, Busters! Somebody owes me $9 grand to replace the awning that a bunch of ghost crap ripped off the building. Call me back, seriously.
Delete.
You have 9 new messages.
Hi, my nephew says it's, culturally insensitive to try to banish the spirits of Native Americans during Thanksgiving. Is it okay if I ask them not to sit in my stuffing?
This cultural oversensitivity stuff is really becoming an issue.
You have 8 new messages.
Who busts the Ghostbusters?
A dickless jerk.
You have 7 new messages.
Hello, Slate Wenzel. I was at the museum opening last night and seem to have been possessed by a ghost from hell. Do you think you can put me in touch with her again, please? Oh, thank you very much.
Oh, that's a new one. I mean, I don't see why not.
You have 6 new messages.
Hello, Dr. Spengler. This is Gilgamer Electronic Supply. We have all the parts you requested, but a representative from the mayor's office, a Mr. Peck, has recently informed us that all invoices from you must be approved through his office first. We called him about your order and he just laughed, then hung up. For all we know, he's still laughing.
Strange. I didn't think he was capable of laughter.
You have 5 new messages.
I was just calling because I was really confused about something. Me and my buddies have been going fly fishing for years, and we never once had any trouble crossing the streams.
Oh, you'd be surprised, buddy. That's a dangerous world you're crossing into right there.
You have 4 new messages.
Hi, this is Speedy Delivery Pizza.
Hey, our
we
pizza.
deliver anywhere, anytime. We don't have any drivers willing to deliver to you, so you gotta come pick up your own. I got 2 extra large sausage and shrooms and a mega veg waiting. Have a speedy delivery day.
So that's where that went. Unfortunate.
You have 3 new messages.
Hi, I hope I have the right number. I'm trying to find Ray's Occult Bookstore. The number there is out of service. Walpurgisnacht is coming up, and I had some party favors on order. If you know anything about it, please let me know. We have an important guest coming up from the deep south, and nobody wants to disappoint him. Reach me at Westchester Coven number.
Oh, she sounds cute. I should give her a call. The uniform always gets them.
You have 2 new messages.
Professor Jones, trying to find out information on the whereabouts of the Vigo painting. Do you have any idea what's happened to it? It's a priceless historical treasure. It belongs in a museum.
Ooh boy, that guy's gonna be pissed.
You have 1 new messages.
Hey, Winston, it's your Uncle Raymond. I'm coming to town and I want to see you. Break out the food, turn on the TV. I'll call you later.
You know, there's a lot more to Doc than I thought.
You have no new messages.
Whew, finally. Now I get to play with the car. Remote-controlled Ecto-1, circa 1987. Created as part of the merchandising flood that followed the Ghostbusters' initial success, this remote-controlled Ecto-1 was a favorite among the fans. Judging from its occasional twitching and wheel spinning, this particular car seems to have had a run-in with a low-level possessing sprite who was somewhere else to be. Wish we had the remote to this.
Your performance is so barely adequate. Are you sure you don't want to hold on to your amateur status?
It's
because
like
you
glass
can?
against a chalkboard. Whee! Hey Doc, your Uncle Raymond called. Man, I really wanted that pizza. Oh well, let's see. How's it hanging, Viggs?
Call me Vigo the Despised, or Vigo the Unholy, never mind.
Okay. Whatever you say, Viggs. Some museum guy wanted to talk to you. Was really trying to crack that whip. Hey guys. What's up?
What does this symbol mean?
Guys.
Would you look at that?
Perfect fit.
It's not a constellation. It's a mandala.
I can't believe I never saw it before.
Okay, for 1 minute, pretend someone here doesn't know what a mandala is.
An Indian religious symbol.
Mandala is like a spiritual labyrinth.
Or that.
And this one looks like a spiraling system that feeds into each successive node along the line until it reaches a culmination point. Before he died, Shandor must have set some mechanism in place, similar to the antenna in Dana's building.
Who?
You know, I think you helped to make that clearer. So this was the gizmo that's supposed to feed energy to the destructor form?
That's right, Peter!
Well, Dr. Venkman.
Well, I had to get one right eventually, didn't I? I mean, just math.
Low statistic.
Alright, I'm just speculating, but it's possible that ghosts are trapped in the system, funneled from node to node, and they get stronger and stronger until they reach the end, and then they...
Look, the first portal, the library. The second, the museum. And the third, the Sedgwick.
And that means the fourth portal must be right here.
Huh?
The middle of the Hudson River?
Well, according to the mandala, yes.
It may need a little tweaking.
Or a lot.
I don't know. Plenty of bodies in that river. Could become ghosts.
But what does this have to do with me? What did I do?
You were at the museum and the Sedgwick.
Maybe you were some sort of catalyst, accidentally setting things in motion.
You're saying this is my fault?
You are blameless! What Egon meant to say was that you have some sort of connection to this thing, and we're going to go back to the Sedgwick and find out what. Isn't that right, Brainiac?
That's right, Peter.
Alyssa, do you remember where you were going when you were at the Sedgwick?
I was standing outside a room, 1221. Something was compelling me to go in, but I woke up just before the door opened. I ran out of there as fast as I could. And then some jerk tried to pick me up on the elevator.
Okay, you need to stay here where it's safe and where you can't set off any more cross-dimensional shockwaves, hot stuff. Here, read up on the mandala and the boys will check out the Sedgwick.
The boys. And what about you, superstar?
I'm gonna have you drop me off near Peck's office. Something tells me he's not quite what he seems.
Good idea. Meet us at the hotel when you're done.
All this investigation into Indian mazes, and nobody's wondering about the gigantic breathing head. Bagged head of Azathothep. Circa 1967 BC, once part of a mammoth statue of the evil Egyptian god warrior Azathothep. This stone head has never been able to keep its mouth shut. Normally it just breathes heavily and mumbles, but occasionally it will whisper a maddening, sanity-dissolving riddle that has sent more than one unlucky listener into the asylum. Yeah, I'd be afraid of that one if
Hello,
anything.
Ghostbusters.
And whatever took it apart.
Oh yes, they're very busy right now. No. For the foreseeable future, they are not available for weddings, bar mitzvahs, debutante balls, proms, supermarket openings, halftime shows, company retreats, car washes, book signings, talk show appearances, or productivity seminars. And they definitely don't do birthday parties. Not at the present time. No. Goodbye.
Hope you all like it in there. I got a weird special request though. Beauty Queen Ghost. Class 4 Wandering Possessor. Beauty pageants and parades of all sorts have always been a big part of the culture of New York City, and beauty queens have been among the city's crowning jewels. Beauty queens hate to be replaced though, and for some, perching atop the thrones and waving to the masses is the high point in life. In death, they remain desperate for attention, and return to reign and be adored all over again in spectral splendor. Black Slime Fiend. Class 5 Black Slime Fiend. These humanoid fiends are composed entirely of PKE-saturated black slime. Motivated by a seething anger and caustic to the touch, black slime fiends are dangerous, if straightforward and unimaginative fighters. But don't be lulled by their apparent simplicity. Black slime fiends are seldom encountered alone. Black Slime Ghost. Class 5 Black Slime Floater. These entities are unique among Class 5 ghosts. Unlike other phantoms, the ectoplasm that creates the form of these creatures is infused with black slime. The resulting hybrid is an exceptionally dangerous enemy that can be difficult to overcome. Recent developments have indicated that black slime floaters may not be a naturally occurring denizen of the ghost world. Confederate Ghost. Class 4 Full-Torsoed Spectre. These ghosts, fighting for Poindexter's partisan rangers, were so dedicated and focused during their battle that when it ended, with their deaths, they failed to realize it. Trained to inerrantly follow their regimental banner, when that tattered battle flag made its way into the museum's collection, so did they. Unfortunately, there they encountered other ghosts loyal to the Union, and the resulting fight has raged ever since. Poindexter's partisan rangers evidently believe that the South will rise again, even if it takes more than a lifetime. Ectoplasmic Residue. Class 1 Supernatural Secretion. Ectoplasmic residue identifies areas of paranormal contact or interaction. While some ectoplasm can be seen with the naked eye, ectoplasmic residue can only be seen while using PKE meter enhanced paragoggles. Flying Skull. Class 1 Osteofocused Swarmer. Skulls are scary, especially when they float around with glowing eyes and try to kill you. These Class 1 swarmers are drawn strangely but exclusively to skulls, real or imitation. Like other swarmers, flying skulls defend their territory with exceptional vigor. It's best not to trespass unless accompanied by a fully charged proton pack. Possessed Human. Class 3 Possessor Host. Possessed humans are innocent bystanders possessed and controlled by Class 3 Possessor Ghosts. Slime blower use will drive Possessor Ghosts out of their human victims, but beware. Its lingering PK resonance is not enough to prevent possessors from repossessing anyone already slimed. Possessed Statue. Class 3 Possessor Host. Possessor ghosts can also possess and take control of some statuary and mannequins and are thus often encountered in a wide variety of museums as well as in far more clothing stores than one would reasonably expect. Fortunately, possessing an inanimate non-living object like a mannequin or a statue binds the possessing spirit to that object. Not only is the ghost unable to leave, but it is also disrupted when the possessed object is destroyed. Possessor Ghost. Class 7 Wandering Possessor. Mrs. Murnick, a pragmatist with a vision, opened a St. Nicholas rehabilitation mission for wayward angels. The mission took fallen and destitute women off the mean streets and cleaned them up, gave them hope, and trained them for new careers. St. Nick's provided its desirable charges to the many gentlemen's club events, fraternity parties, and business conventions that occurred around the city on a regular basis, in return for considerable donations. Shrewd Mrs. Murnick could always spot an opportunity, and knew her customers could not afford to let word of its excesses get around, These were highly respected and upstanding men in the community, after all. She told them she was willing to remain discreet, for a sizable donation. Unfortunately, Mrs. Murnick failed to realize the lengths some would go to preserve their reputation, and one night a gang of Pinkertons paid a visit to St. Nick's. Now Mrs. Murnick's ghost, and those of her charges, has appeared in many fine establishments and hotels since 1923, but they tend to favor the Museum of Natural History. Venom Crawler, Class 6 Vermin Dominant. Venom crawlers are physical manifestations of the vermin spirits that power candelabrum crawlers, having managed to breach the planar barriers and cross over to our world. Being actual physical entities, venom crawlers are much more powerful and dangerous than their lesser forms and should be treated with caution. Union Ghost, Class 4 Full-Torsoed Floater. A local Civil War unit, the New York 87th, Thuribold's Wrongways, got lost on the way to battle, wandered in circles in the coldest winter in East Coast history, and eventually died of exposure only 30 miles from home. They now haunt the city looking for battle. In the museum, it seems, they found it. The Chairman, Class 7 Ectoplasmic Entity. Shandor and his cult made many powerful connections, perhaps none more so than New York City's most powerful business leaders and power brokers. Shandor used his dark abilities to help each of them in some state of their careers, and they were indebted to him. They came together publicly as trustees of the Natural History Museum, and privately misused their influence to help Shandor implement and maintain his mandala throughout the city. When they died, each of them returned as guardians to the mandala, and the Natural History Museum in particular. Their closeness to Shandor's evil regenerated them as ectoplasmic entities. The chairman, formerly Cornelius Wellesley, chairman of International Steel, wielded the most power when alive, and likewise is the most powerful in death, becoming one of Shandor's mightiest servants. I wonder which one he was interested in, or how to get it in particular out. Let's see what Dr. Spinkler's got this time. Boson damage immunity. In addition to the installation of a secondary fermion absorption ring, extensive modifications to the boson emitter's integer field have led to the absorption of close-range boson particles. This dramatically reduces the amount of damage taken by point-blank and close proximity boson dart impacts. Please note that these Z-based modifications in no way compromise the dart's Bose-Einstein statistics. Shock blast rate increase. Experimenting with the shock blast baryon condenser ring has resulted in a substantial increase in the recharge rate of dark matter particles without a corresponding heating rate increase. This results in a dramatic increase in the shock blast rate of fire. Condenser ring leakage has been known to affect the wearer's neuroelectric state, resulting in elevated intemperance and an increase in general wantonness. User discretion is advised. Overload pulse enhancer. The addition of a bleeder line to the proton pack's neutron sump creates additional capacitor storage. This increases the maximum pressure load of each overload pulse projectile, yielding a substantial damage increase. Note, though this damage increase is strong enough to penetrate the membrane that separates this reality from the next, it has been proven inadvisable to use this dimensional rip for storage, spot cleaning, or as a trash receptacle. Overload pulse accelerator. pulsing the meson collider's primary field coil and shunting the generated overflow through the boson dart's boson absorption matrix dramatically decreases the recharge interval between the generation of each overload pulse projectile, resulting in a substantially increased rate of fire. Cool. Hey, Janine. So where are we off to next, guys?